that much worse because it's like over the top sometimes. Um, it's such a creepy vibe.
Yeah.
And no one's really matched it either. That's the
No,
sad
no,
thing.
yeah,
No one's
100%.
matched it since they came out.
I mean, I've played some games that are pretty good with the creepy vibe, but yeah, it's not Silent Hill.
There's this one guy watching YouTube. I can't remember his name now. It's like Jacob Geller or something. He does like, I guess you would call them essay videos
Yeah.
on like thoughts. So like,
Hey,
I don't know. He's
are
like,
you okay?
he just talks
Go
about stuff,
away!
and
Don't
it's
be
usually like
afraid. I just
subjects
want to
to like
talk.
really like deep subjects, but using games to represent
Yeah,
those
that's something I would
subjects.
want to do.
And he was using like, I can't remember exactly the topic, but he used Silent Hill and like what makes things creepy. And there's like this trick you can do with a music
Oh
arpeggio.
yeah, like swelling, like kind of like those like really weird swells that they do to like.
Well, there's this one, I can't remember which Silent Hill it is. It might be the first one. I cannot remember now. But there's a point where the whole like story like is leading up to this like locked door with like a staircase that goes down to where you need to go. And like you finally get the key and you unlock the door and you see the staircase and it's like a basement staircase. It's like creepy, you know, like dark, and it has like a
Yeah.
dark pipe, you can see it. And you start walking down it, and then you just keep walking down it, and you just keep going down and down to the point where it's like, this makes no sense. How could a staircase in this random building go down so far into the earth? And the whole time you're walking down it, there's this, I can't remember the name of the arpeggio. It sounds like it's always getting higher or lower, but it's actually not. It's repeating itself, but it tricks your ears into hearing a constant downward or upward like progression in the tone. And they use a downward one there, so it sounds like it's constantly getting deeper pitched the whole time you're walking down the staircase. And it's just creepy, like it's just unsettling to go through that part of that game
You know.
Hey,
and walk
are you
down a
okay?
staircase that seems to never
Go away!
end, like
Don't be
downward.
afraid. I just want to
Oh,
talk.
oh,
Staircase.
you're talking about 4. That's the I just beat that one. 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah, it is 4. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was a really cool section on the
Yeah,
video.
4. 4 story wise was really good. I'm not really crazy about the script reading was a little weird, but everything else about that game's story, the concept, the stage, that was the one I've always wanted to play, and they just released it on GOG. And yeah, have you ever seen GOG? Good old games. That's what it stands for. I just recently learned that. But GOG is really big about they want to archive, you know,
Oh,
all
that's
of
good.
games.
That's like an alternative to Steam, right? Like an all. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
right,
They have a
yeah.
good launcher. I would recommend them because they have like classic games, like really old things that Steam doesn't have because of like contractual issues, I guess. I don't know really, or maybe Steam just doesn't think they can get a profit off of them. But anyway, GOG has games that like they have the original first 3 Resident Evils on GOG. They have Silent Hill 4: The Room on GOG. They have I bought some other stuff on there because like I don't know, I really respect the preservation of video games, and that's what they're all about.
I mean, I just heard about them that they actually, these people whose licensing being updated.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was to implement that these are licenses instead of
They
like.
always have been.
Yeah, I know. It's just because AAA devs are using that language now. You need to be comfortable with the fact that you don't own a game, which is disgusting
Yeah,
to me.
it is awful, but like that's just. I mean, it's even true with like disc. Like you aren't buying the right to own like that game forever if
Or
you
the
if
property
your
of that, you know.
yeah, like, but if your disc breaks, you aren't entitled
Yeah.
to a free replacement. You know, like it's still like a temporary. Uh, I mean, obviously discs are much longer, you know, instead of like a digital license, but yeah, it is a dumb thing that they're
It's
trying to push
just,
that.
yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's a restraint for
It's
anything.
it's true. It's always been true, but like,
But here's the difference, though.
don't say it out loud.
The difference is
Like,
like with a disc, you know, that it breaking or something is the fault of your own usually. Like even if it's just over time, you know, wear and tear. That's still technically your fault of, you know, using it in proper storage
It
or whatever the
is,
case may
but
be. But like this agenda that like I think a lot of these devs are like pushing is that they can like recall the game anytime they want from your library, and I don't
well,
think
they
that's.
always have been able to
But
technically,
not if you
like,
had the disc. That's what
well,
people are.
yeah, but I don't think Steam has used
No,
disc
no, no,
in
no.
who knows how long.
But I'm talking about console players. You know, now with console
Yeah.
players, you can still have the disc and not be able to play the game.
I also think like discless is better. Like, I mean, that's
No, I
selfish.
agree, but
E-waste is so bad, and disc are just waste. Like,
no, 100% agree. But
they're
again, like
so
if you're spending
so
your
crappy.
money and time, because it's not just a fucking like money transaction. You're also putting time into stuff. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with live service games. I love them, but the idea that it could just shut down at any moment is so haunting to me. You know, and then I'll never be able to play it again. Like at least give me a way to like see that all the time I've spent on it isn't wasted. You know, like maybe go back and look at the characters that I got, or you know,
Yeah,
have like a hub or something, you know, that I can like relive, or you know,
that's
like
why I stopped playing Destiny. I couldn't keep up with the game, and like they removed content as they add new content, which I hate
yeah,
so much.
yeah,
I
that's
hate
crazy.
that content
That's
so
exactly
much.
what. And now imagine that, but as a whole game, that's crazy. I hate that. Like that. That
Well, I
I.
mean, if you go back to, if you play Destiny right now, the original Destiny 2 campaign, it's just not there. It's just not there
Yeah,
at
that's
all. They removed the
crazy.
entire base campaign to make room for like all the new campaigns. Cause like, and again, I think this is another issue with like modern like AAA games is they're so lazy about optimizations these days. They just want to rush it out the door. So you have games like Destiny 2 and like Call of Duty taking up like 200 gigabytes like for the base install, and then
Oh,
every
dude.
expansion is like another 60
I do agree
gigabytes.
with that too. It's insane.
So like they have to, because like otherwise most people don't have, you know, a terabyte of data for a single game to, you know, like store on their hard drive. So like if Destiny 2 had all their content like still in the game as of now, I mean I bet it would be over a terabyte. That's how much like content they would have had.
Yeah.
And it's not like worth a terabyte of data. It's just because they have been lazy about optimizing like textures and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty, for example, like the base install for Modern Warfare like remake was like 180 gigs, and like over 100 of that was just for the graphics because of the texture sizes, like in lazy asset reusing. It was just bad like laziness, and like because of that, like everyone suffered. God dang it! Oh my god. Everyone suffered because like, you know, you couldn't install it if you had anything else installed basically on the Xbox. It's very frustrating.
I agree. Especially when you have people who have done like such a good job at optimizing like FromSoft, you know, having such
Oh,
a.
speaking of From Software, I didn't know this, but they have some really old games, like
Hmm?
super old games from like old PC days that are like obvious inspirations for like Dark Souls and all that.
Yeah, I have one in my. I have one
I can't remember what it's called now. I saw a
called
video the other
Kuon.
day.
Is it Kuon? That one's
No,
a
the one I'm thinking
PS2 game.
that was originally only in Japan, and then they made a sequel to it that came out in the US, but it was also just called like whatever it was called without a two.
Hmm.
But it was technically a direct sequel. It was called Kingsfield. Kingsfield 2 is the one that came out in the US. And it has like all of the bases that you need. Like it has open world, it has like bosses that are available right away, even though you can't actually beat
You said
them.
this was a PS2 era game.
I'm not, it looks like PS2, maybe even PS1. It's probably PS1.
Yeah, I knew. No, they do have a lot of PS1 games. I saw. They also did
Well,
a couple horror games. The one game I was talking about called Kuon is like a horror game.
this is definitely like PS1, maybe even older. I'm looking at, I'll send you the video so you can check it out. I don't know if you ever watched Josh Strife, but he does a good job of like showing
I
off
watch
his
a
games.
lot of I watch a lot of random like game analysis videos for like old games that I'll never get back to real play.
If he goes back and plays old games and gives like a modern review, like but like with an unbiased like modern standard, like he reviews them for what they are,
Yeah,
and if they're good or not. He also
I'll,
does like one of his biggest videos is the worst MMO ever, where he's on a quest to find the worst MMO there is. So he goes and plays literally every MMO there is on Steam and gives like, you know, a good review, like a proper review. But his like, I guess what makes him so good to watch is like his presentation is just really good. He was like a theater actor, so he has like a really good way of speaking, like the hold your attention. He's a good guy to watch. He's fun. He does all the good stuff.
Yeah, when I look at like games like that, I try to, or older games especially, I'm like, you kind of have to think of them from like a different perspective of like, what was this doing
You
at the
do.
time, like.
If you don't, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah,
It's all
100%. That's what I was saying
there's
about The
no,
Room, the
there's
game
no
that,
way to like all games
yeah,
these days.
yeah,
But
100%,
I mean,
yeah.
like some of them are like there is like rare time where like a game is old, but it's still like wow, this is a good game.
Yeah,
But it's not common.
yeah, not at all.
And that's why I like his videos on these older games is like he did Tomb Raider recently
The old
and
ones?
like
Oh,
yeah, like
jeez.
the original
Those are
ones
rough.
and like he gave like I said he does like a modern review, but it's not using modern standards, but it's
Yeah,
using
he's being
modern
respectful.
it's using like modern like how we think about games these days versus how they used to think about them back then.
Yeah,
And like a lot of times it's just kind of like, oh, this is how we got to this point eventually. Like, we can see the influences here or there. But then like, sometimes he'll like point out like there's some really clever level design in Tomb
yeah,
Raider
yeah.
you just don't see these days, like where they had to make use of like limited level sizes. So instead of building out, they built vertically, and there's a bunch of stuff you don't really think about. He really did a good job of like showing how bad it was, but then also showing how clever it was for what it is, like for the time or whatever.
Yeah.
It really was like there's a reason that game is
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I say. It
popular
was
as it is.
popular at the time, and it wasn't just because
Yeah,
Laura Croft
it
was
wasn't just because of Tomb
hot.
Raider. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like a proper like we don't have Indiana Jones, but we have this.
yeah.
That's good enough for most people. It's really good actually. I'd played two, but I never played the first one.
I
I
played
think
all
I
of
don't know if
them.
it was on PlayStation. It might have been.
Yeah, it was PlayStation One.
But two was for sure on PlayStation One, and I played that one.
I played
And it
both
was
of them.
great.
They were.
Honestly, I love those games.
Yeah, back in the day, I liked them, but there was also what was another game that had really crazy shooter controls back in the day. Like all those shooter games at the time were amazing, but it's like now you go back and play them, and you're like, damn, our control schemes are so much better now.
Yeah, it's I even like the new Tomb Raider. So like the Tomb Raider, like
Oh yeah, those are supposedly like really good. I've never played them, but
I
one of my
100%ed
friends.
the first one. It was actually I haven't 100%ed a game in so long. And I played on my game for some reason. It was so good. That was one of the funnest games I've played in a
Yeah,
long time. It just felt like classic. Like it had like the typical like collectible, like that kind of game. But it also had like just good storytelling. Super good. You should definitely.
yeah. One of my friends, she really likes the new Tomb Raiders.
I haven't played. I played the first one. It's just called Tomb Raider. It's like a rebirth or whatever.
Yeah,
Like the Tomb Raider character for that like rebirth is actually pretty good too. Like she's not annoying. I don't know. They did a good job of making it but it's still like new and not like the same. Again, fresh enough that it's like fun. Okay, I almost got the water. Ready to I'm ready to pollute this planet.
ass kicked by a couple nurses. Hell yeah. Oh, it's just it's a keypad.
Does it just have a... Okay, I see. There's like a power outlet on it. And this thing is huge. Okay. I think... We'll do it there.
That's Maria. Fuck.
Oh, God, it's not centered. Oh my God, this game, dude. need to run this water. You know, my favorite thing about this game, like the convenience that they did is this here. Look at this. They don't care about like having you work from far away. Like you don't have to walk over there. You can just click from here.
Oh damn, that is pretty cool.
Like, I was thinking about that when I was like thinking about game design. Of like, I feel like sometimes modern games are so concerned about balancing that they forget to have like let the player have fun.
Have fun, yeah.
Sometimes it's important just to like have fun. Like
yeah. Like you want it to be immersive enough to be believable, but you also don't want it to be so immersive that it is literally real life in a video game. Exactly. That's how I feel.
I think a lot of games like Diablo 4. I know you don't play them, but for like Diablo 3 is I'm pretty sure it's my most played game of all time. I don't have the hours because it's on Xbox initially, but it's well in the thousands. I put so much time into Diablo 3. I loved it. And one of the best things about Diablo 3 was like, there's a point when you get your build going and like properly made that you just become unstoppable. Like you become so strong, and you just and that's what made it so good. And Diablo 4 did the opposite. You know, they were like, okay, we want to make sure it's balanced properly, and we want to make sure every class is as good as each other class. Like they were just so concerned with balancing that it wasn't fun. It just was not fun.
You said 4 was like that?
Yeah, when it came out at least. And they've just released a new expansion, and like thankfully, it's still like better balanced than 3 was, but it's not so balanced that like they make stuff nerf. They don't nerf it for the sake of another class being stronger. Yeah. Like, in my opinion on this game, it's better to make something stronger than make something stronger. Like, don't make something make the other thing stronger. Keep on the others, you know? That's usually the better about it. Because like there was a point where like you were taking 10 times longer to kill a single enemy than you would in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
For the sake of like balancing, you know, like, but that's not balancing. That's just slowing the game down.
Right.
And like the new expansion has made it so much better, so much more like fluid. You kill stuff easier, but to compensate, you fight more enemies at once. Like you have larger density. It just feels good again. And again, it's because they were like, okay, let's make the players a little stronger than they have been before. And suddenly, I'm like, okay, this feels like Diablo 3 again for the first time since it came out. Like, I actually am having fun.
Right.
And I think that's such a thing, such an important thing these days with games. Like, when you come to design mechanics, I think it's really important to be focused on, is it fun? You know, like, sure, it doesn't work, but it doesn't matter if it works or if it looks good. It's so much more. Okay, so now I don't have to do this water stuff.
That's kind of my whole thing, is like I've always liked survival mechanics in games. I cannot remember what game it was, but there was one game that I played that had such a needy like survival kind of a thing that I was like, this isn't even fun anymore. Literally all my time is dedicated to finding food or like taking care of and like it is fun to have survival mechanics, I think.
But yeah,
but I liked how games like see, I love RPGs and I love, you know, survival games, and I would love to have one mixed together, and Fallout New Vegas did a really good job of kind of having that. But I also like the fact that it's optional, you know? You don't have to do it. If somebody,
it's also not so it's not so debilitating that you can't like focus on the other stuff. Like there are some survival games where like you're literally all you're doing is trying to like maintain like not dying.
Yeah.
And then you can't enjoy like what the game has to offer because you're so focused on like everything else, like not being like your like water or hunger. Like those are fun mechanics to an extent, but at a certain point it's like, man, just like let me play the game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I love survival games, obviously, but I'm playing one now. But there's a right balance, and this one to me is honestly one of the best ones I've played in a long time in terms of like being a little silly and maybe not so realistic, but that's what makes it fun, you know? Like you sacrifice a little bit of realism for a lot of fun.
Right.
I completely forgot I need to actually power my water pump. I didn't even think about it. I swear, dude. Okay, let's see. Biomass thing. Yeah, I think Diablo 4. I know we were talking. I'm not talking anymore, but Diablo 4 is actually in a spot now where I'm like, I actually feel okay recommending it to players.
Yeah.
It's actually a really fun
I've
game.
seen some gameplay on it. It looks sick. I mean, I never had a problem with it, but I also haven't followed the series. You know, for a long time. I played
Oh,
Diablo 3.
story wise, Diablo 4 is amazing.
Yeah, but
It
I know a lot of people hated a lot of the
mechanically,
changes. Yeah.
oh my god, dude, mechanically, Diablo 4 on release was the most boring thing I've ever played. It was
Mm.
just boring. Like that's the best way to describe it. It was just boring. It was just like again it was the beta came out and like Necromancer, which is like the most skeleton, was like balanced. Like it was really OP. So they nerfed it around, and in the process of doing that, let's start and that was after the beta. The beta was fun, it felt fast, it felt strong, and then when it came out, they just nerfed everything. That's all there is to it.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm in the middle of a fight.
Oh, you're fine. I think again, it's just companies being, and you know what? It's not even just the company; it's the players. Like, I saw people making comments out like the new class they added, which is a really cool class actually.
The Soul Taker or whatever it is.
It's like a
it's like a druid type thing.
Spiritborn.
Oh, Spirit one. Yeah, yeah.
It's like a monk with like soul animals. Like
Yeah.
the monk was really fun in Diablo 3, but monk is like a spiritual, like a religious kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a hand-to-hand combat. This one is similar. Like it has like hand-to-hand combat, but you also have like glaives and stuff. But it's like a jungle monk. They have like spirit animals, like you have like a jaguar, eagle, stuff like that.
Mm.
And it's actually pretty unique. I've never seen a class like it in a game actually. It's really fun. It doesn't feel like something I've ever played before, which is hard to do these days. Like
Mm.
it actually felt original, but it also felt like it belonged in Diablo. Like it didn't feel out of place. But people were so mad because it was strong. Like they were like, this is like not balanced.
Yeah.
It's like who cares? Like it's a cooperative
Yeah.
player like our ARPG. The PvP like is purely for fun if you do it.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was PvP in Diablo.
It's like a little tiny zone where you like opt in to like a PvP. But like it's not like you're like competing in like it's not like Call of Duty where like you need to make no one's like recording your score when it's something like who cares if you're a little strong. That's the point is then people are so upset that
Well, I've successfully went through almost all of my healing. That's pretty cool. I know everybody these days, it's like cutthroat competition in video games, and like I enjoy PvP sometimes, but really only among friends.
I'm the same.
I'm not aiming to be the best because I feel like, you know, again, back with like time constraints and like, it's like if I was making a living playing a video game, like a certain video game, I'd work on being competitive with it. But even then, you know, it's still.
Yeah, like Diablo is cooperative multiplayer 99.9% of the time. Like the only reason you'd ever like care about other people's balancing would be for the PvP, which no one does, because it's like who cares? Like it doesn't do anything. It's purely for like bragging or whatever.
Yeah.
So to care about what other players are doing with their damage is so stupid to me. Like who cares? Like if you're upset about that, just go play the class. Like
Yeah.
if you're concerned about being the strongest in the game,
Just be a stronger version, yeah.
Oh, there's a little lizard dog. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it's like the people who get mad about like easy modes and stuff. It's like, bro,
Yeah, just don't play it.
just don't play. Yeah, 100%. Like.
Yeah, like, but they can't stand the fact that it's even an option. Like,
But they're gonna say they got the same experience as me, and they didn't. Okay.
you know, like they didn't earn it or something. Like it's like like it affects your life. It's something, you know. One of my favorites recently on Xbox was when they released the. Oh, speaking of this, they just released every Final Fantasy game on Xbox, other than 7, like
That's cool.
one through 6,
Other
15,
than like 7 remake or.
other than 7 remake, yeah.
Oh,
But they
okay.
have all the content, like 1 through 6. Yeah, it's like, I did not know it was possible, and they like they added like new music and you
Yeah,
can
Square Enix said that they're not going to be exclusive to Sony anymore.
well, I did not. I know they were working on some of them, but dude,
Yeah.
I love Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3 was like one of my favorite games as a kid. It was so good.
Actually, yeah, I just started that, or yeah, I'm like halfway through that one actually.
I
Um,
love Final Fantasy 3. It was
I
like
am playing the 3D
quality.
remake though. I don't know if that changes it
3D
for you.
one, yeah, that was the one I played the most actually,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the other one was like PC or whatever. But I love Final Fantasy 3 on the
yeah,
DSi or whatever it was.
yeah. I've been playing that one. It's pretty good.
It is really. I mean, like it's old. Like I wouldn't say
I'm at the part where I haven't finished it because I started playing 16 because that's more my speed. But while I was
yeah.
waiting for 16, I was like, I'm gonna go through all the other Final Fantasies that interest me. So I started with
It's cool to
3.
see like what they came from, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
100%.
there.
It's cool to
And all the
see
lore stuff there.
the Titans and stuff in like their early,
Yeah.
stages. Like I saw that I think Ifrit used to be like a Jin instead of being Ifrit. If somebody
Yeah,
was a Jin.
they all take on different forms. Like they
Yeah,
always have different like
yeah, that was cool.
forms to take on. I mean, like Ifrit these days tends to be like more demon looking or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But back then he was just
That's
a
not
happy little
always been.
genie
It's not
guy.
always been true. I mean, like it's always been kind of different per game.
Yeah,
Because like again, like the games aren't like connected. Well, they are, but it's like a really vague thing,
yeah,
and you only learn about that in like spin-offs
yeah.
that
It's kind of like
tie
just in
together.
universe type
Well,
connections.
there is a overarching story, but not every game is connected, and some of the main ones are, some of them aren't. It's really weird and vague.
I've
But
always taken it, especially with, well, I can't say too much. With hold on, let me see if this is the right combination. I've always taken it as like it's just kind of the gods playing around with like these mortals' lives, because
I mean, it could be, yeah.
that
Who
tends to
knows?
be like where it leaves off on, is like the gods are just
Yeah,
chilling
and
while.
that the thing is with like Final Fantasy is like we're not meant to ever know. Actually, like we're never gonna know because we're not supposed to. Like we're just not. So what is this doing? Extracting. Oh, what? Okay, so look at this thing. Look at this menu. This is crazy. So it's pumping water.
Is it
Flow
purifying
rate.
it or something, or is it just pumping?
It's just pumping it. So like, okay, so let's fill it up a little bit. But now the gravity's supposed to affect it pretty dramatically, apparently. You can see, yeah, this is flowing pretty fast. Okay. So there is flow rate happening here. Because its gravity is not settling here. Okay, yeah, so it's consistently pumping here. So I could actually double this pumping strength. Well, I guess I could use pumps here, right? That's what this would be, the pumps would be. Okay, this is great. It's like very dynamic. I wasn't expecting it to be such a dynamic fluid thing.
Yeah.
Dang. Alright. I know there's pumps. I'm just not sure what they're gonna do. They are not that expensive. Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, I need power though. Dang. And what is this doing? Exactly. How far does it pump though? Oh, I see. Okay. So there's like a, look at that. There's like a little pulse that sends. So that reaches all the way out there. So I'm assuming this one pump here is more than enough to hopefully make up for this little incline. Which now I need to hook up power to it. I didn't even think about the power issues here. Think about pain. What's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna forget about the scene. Assuming I can eventually just hook it up to the pool itself and have it like self-align, like by itself. Alright, so this should have much better water flow now. Not really. Maybe a little bit. I'm not sure how this is work. Maybe the pump needs to be higher up. Maybe it doesn't do much at the base here. It's hard to know. Let's put it like here.
Another remake that came out recently that was really good. You might have seen me play through it, or like through Steam or whatever. But the Dead Rising remake, oh, it's so good, dude.
I didn't know they were.
Yeah.
Remake. I guess it is kind of.
It's that was like a launch title for the Xbox 360, my man.
Yeah,
it's pretty old. It still does look good in my opinion, but the remake was in their RE engine. And I think they were testing to see if the series still had interest.
Yeah, should we continue this? No.
But it was so good, man. The only thing that was a little like I really enjoyed the voice actor from the first, but they did completely redo that. They like recast everybody.
I mean, that's kind of expect. Like how old? Like that's almost 20 years now. So
yeah. Well, the thing is, I used to be kind of like. I don't know. I like that they're bringing in new actors, though, because like that is something that I can pride Capcom for, is that they are like they do try to get new talent and not just recycle the same like 6 famous voice actors like Nintendo does.
Yeah, and again, like 20 years, like that's that's a lot of growth. Like people's voices change over time, and
yeah, I just wish they would kept. I wish they that and the stupid nurse. I really like the original voice for Frank. He was good. Motherfuck!
Yeah, the remake though, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
I never like played them for the story.
Dead Rising 1 is amazing. Dead Rising 1 has a great
them,
story.
Like, what, probably 3 or 4. I'm not sure which one came out on Xbox 360.
The other ones, well, all 3, or no, the first 2, and then there was a spin-off that came out. Then 3 came out on the Xbox One, and then 4 came out.
There was one that was like a small, like
mall,
maybe it was like
mall or city.
Maybe it was mall that I played, and it's fine. Like it's fine. I don't remember much. It was like a
yeah, it's just a zombie game.
Yeah, it's time it was just like another zombie game for me. Yeah. I didn't play the other one.
It was my first thing I ever played on the Xbox, and because Alex owned it, and I was like, yo, this shit's fire. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever, because like I was really into zombies at the time. So I was like, this is all I've ever wanted, is zombies in a mall where I can do whatever, and that bitch can lunge. It was what?
Like life changing. Like it literally, like when I played Oblivion for the first
time. Oh
time.
yeah. That was the first game I owned. I used to go to Alex's house when he owned Dead Rising, and I played that shit all the time. And then when I got mine, the first thing I got was like it came with Oblivion, so I was like,
mine did too.
Yeah. Man, that game did change my life. And then I got Dragon Age Origins, and then I was like, oh my god, critical thinking.
Yeah, when it came out, Jay Malone, I don't remember Jay or not.
Yeah, I remember Jay.
His parents got him a 360 for his birthday, which is also just around the time Oblivion came out, which was also not that long after 360 came out. So like, I was still playing PS2 and PS1 with like, and I never had a PC, so I never seen graphics. So when you played Oblivion, and I saw this video, it was like, it was just amazing to me. Like, like 6 or 7 of us at his birthday party, and we spent all night, each of us making our own little prisoner character and playing through the tutorial, just to get through it and see what was gonna happen. It was crazy. It was so good. I just remember that entire night because it literally like it blew my mind, dude. It was crazy. It was
It's your
actually
brain
crazy.
chemistry. I get it, dude. I still feel that way about Oblivion. I have such fond memories of like just going. I remember I played it for like a year before I even did the story, just because I didn't really.
Yeah.
It was at a time where I didn't really care about stories and stuff, so I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
was still young. Like I'm trying to think how old I would have been, like 11 or 12.
yeah, and I
So
would have been like 2 years. No, wait, I'm 27 right now. You're what, 29?
yeah, I'm 29.
Yeah, so yeah, I was 2 years younger than you, and I played it, and I remember being like, damn, this game's really cool and fun, but I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking do. And then like a year later, I loaded up my save file for the game I'd been dicking around on, and I didn't even know like any other armors existed except for like iron and leather, you know. And I was still having a great time. And then when you start progressing through the main quest line, you start getting the new armors and stuff. And I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
And then I started following the story of like Martin and the going to Wayne Priory and finding out that he was the Emperor's son. And I was like, whoa! And then the Maroon Dagon quest, whoa! I was tweaking.
Yeah, so my experience was just a tutorial as a prisoner, you know. So like I said, it was like a separate quest, and we were all just like making our characters and just getting through that. And we were all like, because we'd also never played with 360, so we were all like making profiles and choosing backgrounds. We literally set up all
Oh
night
yeah, I love
doing
that
that.
part. Yeah.
So like after that, my brother Ben, he had a 360, and so he brought it home finally from his dad's house, and he had Oblivion. But he did not let us touch that thing. Like we were not allowed to touch it, the 360, because he's a prick. So he worked at Jack's part-time at that point. So every time he went to his job like after school, um I would sing to his room and make a temporary profile and play as far as I could on Oblivion until he got home, and then I'd delete the whole thing so he wouldn't know I was playing his Xbox. So I never like got to enjoy the story, right? 'Cause I was like 3 hours and I deleted all. I just didn't know anything else. But it was like it was worth it. It was like not only was I playing this crazy game, it was like the thrill of like going behind people's back and break into his room and playing his 360 secretly. And then I finally did get my own Xbox. I spent like the majority of the time just like sitting in the guilds leveling up my magic to max out all my like skill levels and doing the mages guild quest line. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this needs to go. My coal is up and running. It's amazing. But I need to make sure this hooks up to the water supply. Otherwise, it's pointless. This needs to actually not do that.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point you'll need to get this game if it goes on sale.
Yeah, I looked at it because it does look really good, and I was gonna buy it, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh, $40 right now.
yeah. I'm assuming it'll go on sale here soon with it coming out. Most games do like a early sale,
Yeah.
hopefully. But it's pretty good. I'm not even close to being like I'm still like an early game, but I've only been playing it for a day, so dude, my power is so much better now. Oh my god. Well, I'm still kind of hitting. That's almost at capacity, right? It is at capacity right now.
Super hyped for Subnautica 2 though, because
I still have yet to play the first one.
dude,
Like I mean,
one
I've
is my
played it, but I haven't.
fave.
It looks really fun. I think my issue with it when I was playing on Xbox is that it's like it did play well.
Did you get dizzy or something? A lot of people get like
It
disoriented.
didn't play well. It was like it was just like probably the series, not the series, like just the Xbox One, I think. So it was just like I just didn't play well. So that's never give it like a proper chance, but I definitely need to. I think I can do that one on the coal generator. I think it'll be okay. Just a second. It's probably a little green. Can you imagine having like a super nice peaceful planet and just like an alien coming down and like destroying it
Yeah.
to just like take it over?
To recreate the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, the whole story there is that Earth is dying. So it's loud. But it's obviously like making it very obvious. Stop it. It's like a joke. They're making it like a comedy where it's very obvious that their motives are not what they're saying they are, and that we're just going along with it because, you know, money. So
Yeah.
that's what this game is. It's just a joke. Which I'm okay with.
There was another game that I played that was like a survival game. You're in space. You have like you're in a pod, I think, and there's been like a really bad like a station has been destroyed that you were at.
Like something I was just.
It's called Breath Edge, and or Breathe Edge. I don't know, but it's like it's all a joke, but it's such a pretty game.
Is there a chicken?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like I don't want to say that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because if it wasn't there, I wouldn't hear this. It looks so good, actually.
The gameplay is fine, and like it's pretty. I just really wasn't following the like joke story. I didn't really.
Yeah, I think there is like a. You have to be.
Yeah. Damn it. Grabbing my pipe, and that's not an innuendo. Damn it.
I need to check my computer for that game. I didn't want to play this anymore.
You what now? You check your computer for what?
On Silent Hill, if it can even run it. It looks like it's a pretty intense game on the graphics.
Yeah, but I think they have like a pretty good optimization as well. It's Blooper Team, you know, Layers of Fear. You ever play that one?
I played it on Xbox.
I liked it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I did too.
It was like a walking sim, and people hate it because of that. But I mean, like, it never advertised that it wasn't.
Yeah. Cynthia, did you beat Layers of Fear, Cynthia? Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked the game. It had a pretty decent story. I didn't like the second one as much. I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but
yeah. I haven't played too many things on my computer yet. But it runs Final Fantasy 16 at like 120.
yeah, that's crazy.
I think I'm good in most things these days. Compared to like my biggest game on my computer was Black Desert. On like minimum graphics.
Yeah.
I was running like 25 to 30 frames on minimum.
Yeah.
And on Black Desert, the game came out a pretty long time ago now, like thinking about it. And so they have like a remastered graphics option, and that came out. I mean, now a few years ago, it's pretty old itself, but it's like a modern standard for that game. Like it looks so much better.
Yeah.
And I could if I turned that on before, my computer would actually crash. It was like that intense. And now I can run that on modern graphics like ultra and have no frame drops at 120 frames. So like that was enough for me to be like, okay, this computer is definitely like a stronger computer for sure.
Yeah.
Because I can actually like, first of all, I could even turn it on was a surprise, honestly. And then the fact that I could play that on ultra, like everything, and it runs smoothly was like a dream. It was so nice. It's, the biggest reason is that's one of those games where sadly, they didn't optimize it super well early on.
Which one?
So your on Black Desert.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like your frames actually do matter. Like if you have faster frame rate on Black Desert, your combos, like your melee combos and stuff, they like process better with faster frames. So more frames per second means like faster damage. So, and in a game where like your damage is like everything, that's a big deal. So, it didn't matter to me at that point really, not as much as like other people cared. But it's just like, you know, I could definitely tell that my game is like struggling to keep up, well, even on minimum.
Right.
And it's one of those games I want to play, so just being able to play it without it breaking is nice.
Yeah. Is their Crimson Desert game gonna be a? Is that gonna be a?
It didn't even come out. I don't think it's gonna come out, honestly.
You don't think it will?
I don't
Are
know.
they like known for scamming or something?
No, they're not known for scamming, but this would be their second game. I haven't heard anything about it in years.
No,
It
they
was
showed
supposed to
some
be.
gameplay and stuff recently.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't looked into it 'cause I just gave up on
That's
it.
how I knew about it because I never heard about it. Like originally, I saw them share. They shared some like updates and gameplay and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Is
from
it
what I can
supposed to be a
understand,
single player or is
it's
it?
supposed to be a single player, basically. Because the Black Desert lore is actually really cool. It's like
Yeah.
lore,
Yeah.
which is like out, but that is what the game is. It's traditional Korean.
Right.
So, as far as I can tell, that's what the game is. It's a single player version,
That's cool. Oh fuck.
which is a crazy story.
Yeah.
My favorite part is- Oh my god. Please.
I'm tired of getting backhanded by these holes.
Okay, I just need this to go here. Oh, that's cool. You can like. Why is it angled? You know what? That's. We'll just. Actually, that kind of works perfectly. Dang, that's so cool. I know I hate to program something like that. That's a crazy thing to deal with.
Bro, I think that's one thing I like about programming is it's like interesting to see what things you're like. That was probably pretty easy to do, you know, knowing the logic of it,
I'm like,
and then being
there's
like,
no way.
no, yeah, how is this scientifically possible?
Exactly. Nothing is.
I think the biggest thing I'm like, how is this scientifically? Oh my god, shit, that's good. The biggest thing for me is just like the game development cycle in general. It's just impressive how people used to have like nothing to work with,
I
and
know.
they would
Those-
make
those are mine.
fleshed out video games. And like now I'm like, well, damn, you know what? I honestly forgive them not having good storylines because these motherfuckers were like just mad scientists
They were just happy for it to like turn on.
programming graphics from like, you know,
They like doing like
literal
vector
code.
to get like vectors. Like, I looked into it a little bit for like to see what it's and it's not for me. It's just not. It's,
Yeah, yeah. I think it was you that shared that video with me that was like the programming video games on like the Mac, the original Mac, you know? Or did you?
yeah, he did like the old Macintosh.
Yeah,
PC
and he was like making Snake, I think. It was just Snake.
Yeah, sorry, 1 minute.
There you go, man. Get hit of that syringe.
Had something in my eye.
Are you crying because Satisfactory's so good?
Oh, I finally have like a proper power source, which is amazing.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, he was building Snake on an old Macintosh in the 70s with
Yeah.
just the
Just-
visual
yeah.
stuff, like visual,
Bro, and like
vector.
he was like one of the big things that was really shocking is when he was showing that like they didn't have a code editor back then. It was just like you had to remember what lines you were at.
Yeah, and like the thing that really blew my mind about that programming language was like it was linear.
Mhm.
So like you had to.
Which is how JavaScript still is. Fun fact.
Well, it's not even linear. It's like it's not linear, but it's like line. It's like ladder logic.
It's
which is, like,
called
annoying.
single. There's a word for it.
Like you have like you don't have like multiple files. You have one file.
Oh
You have
yeah,
to just
yeah.
separate like it's like your functions. Instead of having like a function that you just call, you jump to a new line, and then
Yeah.
you jump back to your old line to continue once you've ran your function.
Right.
It was a crazy process watching that, and it's not helpful for what we do, but it was still
The
like,
history of it's important, you know.
it's like, okay, I can see how we got here maybe,
Yeah.
and that's what's important, is to see what it took to get where we are now.
Yeah.
Which again, is mind-blowing. That it's so hard to see people code like Snake on a Macintosh, which would never would have happened back then, by the way. Like, that was also modern standard being applied to technology. Where
True.
no one back then was going to make code like a Snake.
Yeah, they were gonna make a Snake game.
Game on a Macintosh, because why would you? You know.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see them go back and use old technology to try to do these things now, like to push it and see like, well, is this possible? You know, with these things, and it's just interesting. His whole channel is a gold mine, dude. Like, I don't know if you ever watch more of his stuff, but he has a bunch of really interesting subjects he talks about. I watched another dude who does like I don't ever want to do this, but he uses I can't remember the library name now. It's some JavaScript library. He's a JavaScript dude, but he does like so much visualization with just JavaScript on like just like background stuff. Like, he built like a falling sand simulator using just JavaScript. Can we turn that TV down, Cynthia? That TV is super loud. He built like a falling sand simulator just using graphics, like pure graphics, no physics, but the sand still falls somehow.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that people do things like that to me. Okay, what is not running now? Is everything running?
Keypad combination. How the hell is this a keypad combination? The tic-tac-toe game.
Can I run just off? Let's see. If I turn off all of my biofuel, do I have enough capacity off of just 2 coal? Does not look like it. Okay. Okay, no, I definitely can. But I can, like, half of my consumption is just some coal now. That's really nice. Ugh, that was a whole process, man. It took all night. Dang.
Well, to be fair, the first like 30 minutes of that was spent trying to get your stuff back.
I blocked that out. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this thing I got earlier. For like transportation.
Oh, hold on a sec. I accidentally.
Oh yeah. I'll go back. So let me know when you're looking.
Yeah,
I
when we were talking about JavaScript being like a line by line linear thing, I went to Google search and minimize Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's.
Is that jelly?
They make a joke. Yeah, you let it like a jelly stuff, but they make a joke when you build it that they say something like it's a safe, reliable transport system, and then they give you like the disclaimer that it's neither safe or reliable. So like it doesn't always actually land where you think it's gonna land, but it's generally within where it says it will. But they let you know that it's actually not safe or reliable.
That's funny.
But I imagine people have done some cool stuff where you could probably like what do you call it? Not ping pong or whatever. Like you could like have it.
Oh, like do multiple ones.
I thought this was cool though, the visual here, where you can like.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And it kind of like, you can see it kind of like twists the light a bit. When you walk in, it like shifts again. And then there's like a little fade out. It's pretty cool. Pretty clever. I've never seen something like that before for transportation. I think that's a fun way to do it.
So, now I need to go to where there's a keypad, which I thought was
Where's my next step even? Dang, I don't even know.
That's what I'm saying, brother. I've been in this hospital for like
there's
a year.
lot of stuff. Okay, vehicles. That's what it is. The tractor and a truck station. Send or receive resources to the vehicle. Oh. Oh. What? Oh my goodness. It's a transport tractor. Like it transports from a truck station to another one. So oh my god. I can just get rid of that entire coal like a train.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tractor train. Oh my god. Okay, let's do that. All right, so the new thing I'm gonna need here is rotors and modular frames, which are both expensive. That's not that bad actually. Oh, I think that's gonna be Tamarami's problem. A lot of
Hey.
redesigning. Actually, no, I'm just I'm gonna have to like do some redesigning. Like this is one of those games where you know when you come in blind, you don't know what's gonna be available to you later.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna look now. Like my iron production on the initial furnace that I did is like overdone by a bunch. So I could like condense all this down a bunch now, but the new stuff I've built, the new unlocks, like the new tech I have, could easily condense a lot of this down. Then my copper needs to be moved somewhere because it's in the way of the iron now. When I first started, I thought my factory would be like this little bit, and it quickly grew to 5 times that size, and it's gonna keep growing. So it's kind of nice to just like take a step back and look at it all like running. Like it's kind of crazy what's going on. Like there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like that in the moment. It just feels like you're kind of doing the natural.
Yeah, you just slowly stack. Like first I was like, okay, let's automate this, and then I was like, okay, well now I can automate this too. And then I was like, well now that I'm automating this, I might as well automate this and that, and slowly you just start automating everything.
Okay, brother.
Why is this here? What is this for? That's just an empty iron plate. That kind of sucks. You know, I was thinking when we were talking. I know you don't talk about programming much, but we're gonna. The class thing we were looking at. I'm not gonna open Unity or anything. But,
No. No, we can talk about programming. I just don't. I won't be able to absorb any like serious information.
I think we need to go back on your fundamentals and like look into classes more, because I think you have no exposure to like
Classes?
Yeah.
I've done a lot of classes, just not. I know all about inheritance. I know about like creating classes and like. No. I've done classes with web dev. That was like the entire last section of my thing. Was like creating classes, using those classes to like create user information and like shit like that.
Yeah, but it concerned me, like I didn't at the moment, but like the more I thought it was like the new keyword. I don't know, like I need to make sure before we go forward.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
When you create like a new class instance, but I want to make sure we touch on that tomorrow. Are you gonna be on tomorrow? Like
yeah, I'll be on. I'll let you know.
Yeah. I want to make sure we touch on that because it's just important to understand how class construction works, because not everything will be a mono behavior. Mono behaviors make class like when you're new, everything's a mono behavior. You can really just drag it on the object it's going to be used on or whatever. But the more I've been learning, the more I seem to be like going away from mono behaviors and using like classes, just classes entirely now. Like I still use mono behaviors, but I definitely am starting to use them less. And you just want to like work with like base C# classes and constructors and stuff. So yeah, we need to touch on those a bit before we move too far forward. Just make sure you understand how to instantiate them and the point of them, I guess, because they are literally like the bread and butter of C#.
Yeah.
Object-oriented programming.
Yeah, because they have object-oriented programming in general. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Classes are weird. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to even think about them.
I mean, like, I get them. Like, they give.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like they're so like ingrained that I don't even think about it. You know, like it's just like, okay, this is normal. It's like you have to kind of like sometimes remember that like this is something that for me and everyone else who comes into programming literally like melts their head at first. Like it's so complicated to like. I remember when they introduced classes to me, and it took me forever, dude. It took me like weeks to like even kind of begin to understand what they were trying to tell me. It was just hard to wrap my head around. I mean, now it's fine, but it is a complicated subject. Like, and I was also going to mention to you, because we know we were struggling a bit with the player controller, or I was. Player controllers are always like that first thing YouTube videos will go to, and like okay, let's make our player controller. Player controllers are like one of the most complex subjects in game design.
Mm.
Like, it is such a complex thing to build properly. And the only reason you see people making it as the first thing to bank is because it's like appealing to new
Yeah.
programmers. But it is actually like compared to other stuff, the logic and everything is actually pretty complex, and it can get really complex compared to like basic game mechanics. So I think YouTube has kind of done a disservice to a lot of people who are trying to get into programming, because they'll start them off with like a player controller, and that's hard. That's a hard piece of logic to work your head around, honestly.
Yeah.
So I want to try to maybe do something other than player controllers soon. And but I think it's also important that you do these. Like maybe tomorrow we can have you try to replicate what I did today, and I'll like walk you through your gaps as you hit them. Because it is really like a do it
Yeah.
yourself, and you'll
Practice.
learn
Yeah.
more than anything. It's just I don't know. There's a lot to learn, and you'll never learn it all. Sadly, it's so hard to keep up. I hate that I can't like retain everything at this point. There's just too much to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Be easier. It's like do it once and learn it.
Yeah. I mean, I made this player controller multiple times now for multiple people to show them how to do it. I've shown you, I've shown Sphinx, I've shown a couple other guys I know. And every time it's just like they want to give up because it's so complicated. And it's like literally the first thing you do is player controllers in any video you find.
Yeah, I think it's because most people think like the first thing they need to create is their
It's
character.
flashy. It's
Yeah.
flashy, you know, like it's like, oh, look at
Well,
this.
if
I
you
want to
have
make an
control,
animation.
that's an immediate result, so you feel like you're
Exactly, yeah. It gets people thinking like, wow, this is so easy. And it is not. It is, like I said, it's one of those things that if I was like teaching Unity to someone that had not programmed before, like, well, not had not used Unity, I don't think I would be showing them a player controller first, honestly. I'd probably show them something like maybe with a UI or something, because it's a little simpler. But it still teaches you how to work with the components of Unity. Player controller, it's physics. Like, physics is hard, dude. Physics is so frustrating. I've also been trying to like move away from or move into physics more over just like hard coding movement.
yeah.
Try to use like the physics simulator. That's also been a whole thing. It's not bad. It's just like I don't know. There's like little differences that I keep running into. There's definitely a big difference over just like changing the transform directly.
Right.
Because what I do now is I'll like apply force to its rigid body,
Yeah,
which is
I did a
fine.
little bit of that at some point.
Yeah, it's not like a big deal until like you start dealing with like friction and stuff like that. So like you have to make sure you like are more what's the word, like not discreet, but more specific. Like if you want your thing to move, you had to make sure you set the velocity to 0.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say like position equals this, that. You know, you had to say like it equals this, but also remove all forces from this rigid body. Yeah, there's just a lot I've learned in the past few months that I'm hoping I can like transfer to you quickly.
Oh.
Not quickly, but you know,
Yeah.
in a short amount of time. I guess you want to share your screen.
43712.
Check your game out.
Yeah, I'm in
I was also going to show you the last thing I was working on. really quick.
Go
With
ahead.
Unity, the last thing I haven't actually built anything in Unity for a while. Like I've been like going back and learning new things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna show you this. I haven't actually opened Unity 6 yet. It's gonna be the first time.
There you go. Open it in Unity 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how much it breaks. That's probably a terrible idea, actually. But this is the last project I worked on completely without looking up anything new, and it was me just trying to recreate Vampire Survivors. Oh, what's gonna be changing? Okay, this is my experience with this. Fine. Yeah, this is actually I'm pretty proud of this actually. It's a pretty good little demo. It's not even close to being done, and I might go back and try to work on it some. The issue with it is I started learning a bunch of new things, like design patterns and stuff. And I want to go back and like re-implement, like refactor my code to use those, and that's just not gonna happen. There's so much like junk going back to it now and looking at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be so hard to refactor it. But I mean, it works though. Like you don't have to have like nice fancy design patterns. It looks nice when you do it right.
Yeah. It's easy to read too. Or are you talking about like in just like literal physical designs?
Yeah, like the way you organize code and the way you accomplish certain
Oh
things
yeah, yeah,
too.
the organization. Yeah, yeah. That's 2 bracelets.
I forgot they updated the render pipeline, so my materials they're all had to be updated. That's why it took so long. Hopefully this goes pretty fast. I just wanted to show you this little demo here, and then I'll hop off here at the Unity. I mean,
You're good.
I don't want to like drag you into Unity tonight. I know
No,
you
you're
don't
good. I'm just listening. No, like I think the last thing I was doing in like my web dev stuff was constructor, like building constructors for classes.
Yeah, that's what
But I mean, I
I've
don't
been
know how to
doing
use
for
them
them.
in Unity as well because I've been
Yeah, it's
serious.
not a Unity thing. It's a
No,
code
no,
thing.
yeah, but the logic, I still retain the logic as far
Yeah,
as
it'll
like.
definitely transfer. Yeah, there's no differences really. Yeah, so this should hopefully work. We'll see with since I just updated the 6, but yeah, so this is my little demo.
Is that
It's like
shooting automatic,
it's
just like
automatic.
this?
It's
Okay,
automatic,
that's what
yeah.
I thought.
So yeah, I forgot to even mention. So Vampire Survivors is like
I've played it. I've played a couple games, or
yeah,
not
it's like
not
a
Vampire Survivor, but similar games.
clones. Yeah, there's so many clones now. Yeah, the whole idea is you just control the movement and you upgrade your
Yeah.
weapons.
And it starts getting crazy, almost like a bullet hell, kind of.
Yeah, it builds up. So right now I just have the scythe and like a flying skull. I just want you to know, you see how the skull is rotating to the right, and then it shoots over here. It rotates to the left.
Yeah.
2 days, 2 whole days
Just to do that.
to do that, dude. You don't even know. It was crazy. When you look at that, you get like a game pause, and you choose a level up,
I did look up how to do a pause screen, which was pretty
and
interesting.
you get like you get more damage now, and that's doing 10 floating down. You have floating damage. I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
Yeah, I see it.
Which like floats up, which
And you
looks
got
so
your
good to
level
me.
up.
Yeah, you have the level up bar. I'm doing
Does your
15
scythe do
damage.
damage as well? Or, yep.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
saw
doing that
yeah.
damage, and then the skull when you upgrade it has pass through, so like now it's 2 enemies before it breaks. So the skull is actually OP. If I upgrade just the skull. Also my experience orbs, by the way, that's like
That's
hard programmed animations that Dude Tween would have made so simple. And I did not know about Dude Tween. So like you see how they're like pushing outward and then they come in really fast?
Yeah.
That's purely done through script. There's no like animating there. It's script, dude, and oh my god, it was awful. Then I can tell I'm like crazy OP now. Like everything's getting one shot. Look there. It's pretty satisfying, honestly. I mean, obviously the big flaw here is I don't have player damage enabled, but
Nah, it's your
Yeah,
game, bro. Fun. It's all about fun.
well, I hadn't got there. That was our next step. Was I was working on upgrades, which then I realized that my entire like the way I was dealing with attacks and having them upgrade was not gonna work long term at all.
Hmm.
So I was gonna have to like redo my entire attack system, which was already so complicated. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just redo it and implement all these new things I've learned. This is kind of what I'm doing, I think. And I'm already rebuilding it with the new stuff. I did want to show you because I was mentioning the dude twin thing. I know you don't want to. I just want to show you this one.
I mean, show me whatever, man. I'm
I
looking.
want to show you the experience orb. Sure where it is. Probably in a prefab. Does it have a script on it? Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, I can show you the shaders. Oh yeah, forgot about that.
You do shaders in the Vampire Survivor thing?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to show you what I had to do to animate these things with physics, with randomness. So like Dude Team would make this really simple actually, by the way. So the experience orbs, the mechanic I was going for was, I want it to be so they sit idle, and when the player gets near, I want them to like force away from the player and then quickly accelerate back to the player.
Mhm.
So it's almost like a force field being like interrupted, and like so it pushes them away slightly, and then it quickly comes into the player. That was
Right.
the idea. So this is the update method. So the loop here is the first thing it's really checking for is like if the player has collided with them yet or not. And
Right.
if it hasn't, it's just gonna like ignore it. But once the player collides forward, then it does force away. And force away is where I learned without like using that force. Like I had to like set the move direction is the position of the object minus the position of the target. And that will move it the opposite direction like it does. And then I had to like do that, and I had to add like an impulse to it. Then you can see here I have an invoke, which you know you were mentioning it earlier. I was actually using this invoke here to run a method when this method ends, which is actually, I guess it works. And this, so like once it forces it away, it basically moves right back in the opposite direction, which now is towards the player. But like this is all like there's a bunch more to it. I don't want to show you the whole thing, it's a lot, but like it was crazy, dude. Like this script here, it doesn't even look that bad now, but it seriously took 2 days.
Yeah. I believe it.
I wish. Where is this one?
And this
Yeah.
was just for the tweening that you were doing?
Well, this is just for the experience orbs, like mechanic of like being picked up. That was
Yeah.
it. Like, I want to. Let me just show you. Let me show you one more
Now,
time.
is the easier way to do it, is it more optimized, or is this doing it through code more?
So,
Because I've
so
always
Dude
been
Swing is
confused about that. Like, in general, doing it, because I've heard of people doing a lot of animation just through code alone. But I'm
yeah. I
wondering
mean,
if
like,
that's more optimized, or is it more optimized to actually, like, do the animation?
I doubt that this is optimized. I doubt that the way I did it was like the most optimal way of doing what I needed. Like, so again, my thought process was player gets close to orb pushes away from the player, and then it quickly moves towards the player. And one of the struggles I had was I wanted the orb to push away from the player no matter where the player was. So if the player comes from the southwest, the orb needs to go northeast, for example, but it needs to be dynamic. So that's what this line is. It's you're just taking the position of the orb and subtracting the position of the player. So that way the vector that you're looking at is always gonna be based on where the player is, I guess.
Yeah.
Which sounds so simple looking at this now, but at one point this line was like 30 lines of like random crap trying to mimic this.
Yeah.
And then move direction is being added to the experience orb's body, like the rigid body.
Yeah.
And then just multiplying that by like his strength, magnitude, or whatever, which is just like literally like a like move speed kind of deal.
Yeah.
But force is when you are dealing with physics, and then the impulse means like you send it like single pulse to the strength, and then you give up on it. So it's like a single like a shove, and then you don't put any more force to it. And then you basically just reverse this when you want to call it back to the player, more or less. But I'm also adding I'm adding like an extra speed increase every frame once it starts coming back to the player, so it accelerates to the player. The other thing I did, which this is what really threw me off, was shrinking the experience orb. Which now you can't. I don't even see it. Let's see. Can you even shoot? Can you see the experience orb shrink? Probably not. Let me check. I'm just curious now. You can't even see it. I swear to God. Because I added a trail to it, which makes it look better. The experience orb actually is shrinking there. Let's see if I can. Let's see. If you look at it now without the player moving. Well, now they're not gonna die. Let's see.
Oh man.
Dang it. Let's see. Let's see if I can get an orb to come at me. Well, they shrink down as they get closer to you. They do, I promise. Um, that was hard. That was actually like mind-numbingly hard. I had to do like a coroutine, which is just like a timed method,
Yeah.
and I had to have like an initial scale, a target scale. I had to track how long it had been shrinking for, how long it needs to shrink to, like how long it takes total. And I just had to do all these things just to make it shrink, like to say like go from size 1 to size 0 is all this here. Do tween literally takes a single line of code to do that, and it does the same thing.
Oh wow, that does condense a lot
Like
then.
this entire method, literally one line in do tween. It's doing the same thing though. Actually, that's the thing is, this is like probably what do tween has in their library. Is something like this, you know, like more flexible, obviously, but it's doing this, and it's just like, you know, and so instead of calling this method, you just call do tween's method.
Yeah.
Again, like they've spent, you know,
Oh,
years
yeah.
perfecting that like library, but yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. Like this is simply to shrink an orb, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
The shaders though, I guess we can show you that. That is a little more visual to enjoy it. So this is the shader here. I don't know if I'm even using it actually. Let's see if I'm using it. It's supposed to make the enemies flash on damage. Yeah, you can see there. Watch here. How they like flash white slightly.
Yeah.
That's a shader. So that's not like a sprite. It's actually a shader applying a flashed color on top of their sprite. You can also see like they're also like they get a little bigger a little bit when they take damage. It's like a feedback thing. Look here. You'll see that when they go up in size, the shader stays like proper to their size. Like it doesn't like get left behind. Like it also scales, right?
Yeah.
Because the shader is looking at the sprite and adjusting to fit the sprite. So that, like it's dynamic. Whereas if I had like if I wanted to animate that growing thing, I'd have to like make sure I also have a sprite for the shaded color and the normal color, and have to do it to both of them. So yeah, that would have been a pain. But this is a shader. This is what it looks like here. This is how
Oh.
you do them in Unity. Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking because it is. If you got 2 seconds, I'll walk you through this just to kind of give. I'm not gonna like dig into it. I'll explain it to you. You have to look at it to understand. So a shader is color math. Okay, you're doing math to the color of a sprite or a PNG or a texture, whatever it is. So in this case, it's a texture 2D. So this is my texture, and all I'm doing here is I'm getting a reference to the actual texture, and then I'm applying a color map to it so you can actually see the color, like the color data. But all I want to do is I want to mess with the actual like sprite and not this background stuff here. Like the empty space is still there technically. So I can take a minus, like a negative screenshot of my sprite, which converts like all colors to either 1 or 0. So anything that's like slightly dark will become white, anything that's not dark will become black, okay? So this is like it's just creating like a silhouette of my sprite here, and then I just add a red filter on top of that. So now the silhouette has red applied on top of it, and then I'm also just clamping it so it doesn't go like above red, and then I'm throwing that on top of the original color, if that makes sense. That's that's how shaders work.
This is
It's
all just for
crazy.
that red effect.
Yeah, so but this so what this does is any sprite works now. So it's not just this guy. I can throw this shader on any enemy and they will
Yeah.
have the flash effects work properly for them. This is not as impressive as the other one I built. This one is literally just like again, you're getting the texture, you're getting an outline of the silhouette, and then you're just adding some color to that remaining, silhouette. A better one, if I can even find it. Oh my god. Uh, Probably. I don't even think it's in here. Dang. Where would it be? It was my old idle game. The one that I said broke so
Yeah.
bad I couldn't even use it. Where is that game? That one had a really cool shader. I was really happy with it. Dang. I don't think it was this one. We'll just check. Maybe it's in there. Yeah, the cool thing about shaders though again is the fact that you can just slap them on top of anything and they will function identically and they'll adjust to like, fit the model they're thrown onto. Which I love that so much. Cause like I used to manually make outlines for my sprites actually when
Yeah.
I was like, that was like something I did was, come in here and make like a heart or something. And then I'd make a second image, copy paste it, and then like manually draw an outline to fit it. I mean, obviously not hard, but like something else. And that was a time-consuming process. I had to do that for every sprite. So building a shader that did that was like so satisfying. It was so crazy. I don't know where that folder that I might have just deleted that project in like anger,
That's
honestly.
sad. That was a lot of work, man. It was
I
looking
don't
pretty
know
good.
where it went. I'm gonna check if I have it. Maybe it's on my GitHub. Let me check. It was getting pretty good, honestly.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I'm
from 6
saying.
months ago. This could be it.
Like,
Yeah. It was just, dude, it became a mess. Like it was me still learning while I
yeah.
was building something, and it just got to the point where I was like having trouble keeping up with what I was able to do and what I was doing. There's a lot of stuff going on. Dang, I have one here called Idle Game V2, which is probably it, but
Say
I didn't
idle
even update
game
it
me too.
like version 2 because I was like remaking it.
Oh.
But I did not update it since I added it to GitHub and I forgot to actually like push anything. God dang it.
Well, that sucks.
That sucks. I don't see it. This is the multiplayer one, the kart racing, like a Mario Kart clone. It has multiplayer built
Oh,
in.
really? Is that one of the ones you worked on recently?
But yeah, I mean, I followed some stuff to learn about it because it's so complicated. But yeah, that has pretty decent multiplayer, but it's not done. Um, that's so weird that it's not here. I don't think I deleted it. But then I was gonna work on a tower defense game. I was a few months ago. I was like, you know what? Let's go back to Godot and see if I like can understand it again, like properly understand it. Because there's some stuff in Godot that I don't like about like the workflow and how you approach different like issues. Like scope is so weird in Godot. There's no global scope at all, so it's really hard to like grab references to things when you want them. And it's like and it's intentional, which is fine. but I just can't wrap my head around it. So at some point I was like, you know what, let's just try it again. And I understood it better, and I was like building a tower defense game to test it. And there was just something stupid I ran into. I can't remember what it was now, but it was like an impossible issue for Godot for me to for me to get it to work. So I ended up just like rage quitting Godot again, like I always do, because it was just so frustrating. So I came into Unity and like rebuilt what it took a week in Godot to build. I rebuilt it in Unity in like a single day, because of course. Um, I think this is the one that works. This looks right, yeah. This is actually a pretty good project to look at for like an example of where I am now in terms of like, not the gameplay. This gameplay is super simple right now, but the actual scripts and stuff are really nice in my opinion. But here, this is like a simple tower defense game, which is, it's like a, meant to be like an idle kind of one where you upgrade your tower. Um, I was working with like UI stuff, so I can actually like show like the range here. But what's cool here is I have this like, I don't have it built into the game. I was gonna do it, but I have like a target mode where I can like choose like different targets. So I have like near, far, strongest, weakest, and then I'll have like a manual mode. So if I come here and turn on mouse mode, it should just follow the mouse if it works still. Yeah, so now it's gonna shoot where my mouse is, which is cool. And I don't have it here, but
What
I
was
was
this
gonna have
supposed to
it use
be?
like, it's a tower defense.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's at the moment I was testing like the shaking
Yeah,
mechanics
yeah,
that
yeah.
are killing me. Let me fix that actually. There, I made them OP so they could kill me quickly. Because when I was last working on it, which was not that long ago, um, I wanted them to like cause screen shake when they hit me. So that's why they're killing so fast. Let's see here. And then again, it's meant to be like an auto game. Like you it's more focused on like the upgrading of the tower. So I think by default you want nearest to be turned on, so it always targets the nearest enemy. Which is a really cool script actually. I need to show you that. I'm pretty happy with that. And this is just me testing out UI stuff. But I do have like, so you can have the attack range showing. You can turn that off and on, which is cool. It's just like a visual setting. Let's see. Yeah, so you just have little things come at you and you shoot them. And that's about it. If they get close to me, they'll start spinning and dealing damage. So let's see if they can do it. Nope, they're too weak. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Let's see. I wanted to show you the target script if I can find it. There's a lot going on here. Toggle settings? No. Yeah, this is my most recent project, by the way. This is what I worked on like probably like last week. So this one is pretty recent, actually. Is this where I did it? Detector. No. But you can see like my methods are even better. Like they're like simpler. They don't do like a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Like they do a bunch of things, but they're smarter about how they're like being done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of my biggest issues early on was like I would have a method and I'd just like stack everything into that one method.
Yeah.
It really is better to keep it all like to its own place, you know, like
Kind of how React is. React's about making these components as small as possible to really like
yeah, that way when
maximize
something
efficiency.
breaks, it's easier
Yeah.
to like determine where it broke exactly. I'm trying to remember where I.
What they taught me in like the courses I was doing was like basically for everything you want to happen, you need to have it needs to have its own component. That way,
Yeah,
when
which
that
is
thing
what I've been
doesn't
doing.
happen, it's like you know why.
Yeah, because like if everything you have for the player is in the player script, then you
Right,
have
right, right.
that's
And that's
like
how
this
I
is my
used to
entire
do it back
script.
when there. But I haven't done game design since I did my classes, so But
Yeah, I mean, you can see here, like, this is my player script. It's just references, actually.
yeah,
And the reason I have it like this is because my player is a singleton, so like I can reference my player from anywhere with that. So my player exists basically here just to like have built-in references so that things that want to interact with the player can also reference those easier. That's literally the only reason he exists. I'm just trying to find one thing so I can show you.
yeah.
I wanted to show you something, but it's definitely in here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Okay. This script here is actually really cool. I'm really happy with this script.
Oh my god, fuck. Hold on, cutscene. Sorry, I got scared. Actually got me. Nice.
Water looks insane.
Yeah, that water looked incredible dripping off of his head
Yeah.
like that.
They're just showing off that.
Yeah. Scared the shit out of me. I literally was not expecting Pyramid Head of all people.
What a creepy character too, you know? Like, it's such a stupid idea. It's just like a pyramid on some dude's head.
Yeah. Well, when you like get into the story, it's even worse. Like you learn more about him and what he really is. Awful.
But even if you don't know anything about him, he's for some reason just terrifying.
Well, I was telling Alex, one of the things I think design-wise that's so terrifying about him, he's so big and hulking, you would think he would make some kind of noise. He's completely silent.
Yeah, he's like silent and slow and like
stealth. Like he you don't hear his
yeah,
footsteps. It's just like,
yeah.
and he doesn't grunt or anything.
I think like the fact that he wears a triangle on his head, like something so strange and like
Yeah.
not something you'd ever see.
And it never
Just,
gets
like,
explained.
yeah, it's just like uncomfortable that
Yeah.
it's even a thing.
You know it's got to be heavy, so it's almost like he's atoning for something, maybe. You know.
Yeah, you gotta work that neck out.
Yeah. He's stocking up on all my heals that I depleted this fucking area. Asshole.
You look at this script really fast. 'Cause I just want to show it off
look at-
because I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm looking still.
So this is how you target enemies, like if like the target mode is what it's doing. And I did some cool stuff here. I'm trying to think what is even going on. I like really refactored this thing down to like minimum. But basically the idea is here is like you have an enum of like the different types of targeting you can do. And then I have two variables. I have like the distance and the health of an enemy. And I can basically just use those two variables on the enemy to say like target this exactly. Like it's really specific, but this lets me target anything in the game specifically with just like 4 little like cases.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. I guess it would be easier to show you like if I broke it all down, but I'm not gonna do that. But this might be my best function. Like just straight up. This is like the best thing I ever wrote. It's so nice and so like condensed down so well. I don't think I could rewrite it, honestly. It's so good.
What's wrong, buddy?
I want juice.
You want juice? Buddy, it's too late for juice. I'll give you some water, though. Like a lifetime dedication to it, and maybe it'll come out like a half like that. Not any. I mean, like anybody less than you would have like a fucking, you know, an eighth of that. But
well, this is not something someone can do by themselves.
No.
Like there's just not enough time.
no, it's not.
But with new AI coming out, you know, who knows?
Oh, Kitty! Oh my God. He like stuck himself in a cardboard box and then like slid it under the couch and he was stuck there.
It's cute.
Well, yeah, he was stuck. He was like freaking out.
Oh, maybe it's not as cute. Never mind.
Just the cat. Sorry. He's too smart for his own good. Yeah, I don't think you have, but I did put down some like random lore.
I didn't know. I did read it. I read it like when I was. It was either.
Probably not great looking back on it. It's like in the moment that I'm writing it.
No, it was fun.
But yeah, I've been trying to think how I wanna like even approach making a game together.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, well, I mean, it's your idea, so I'll let you do writing, and if you just ask me opinions, I'll give input on them.
Yeah.
But as far as like programming and stuff, once we're on the same page, we'll just you just
Yeah. I think
we
that
just
you
designate
just,
tasks.
well, yeah. I'm talking like broader, like grander scale. I think like a good first proper game like together could be like maybe not like a JRPG, but
Yeah,
a
that's what I was
JRPG.
thinking. Yeah, I was thinking like a 2D
Like maybe like a
RPG.
classic style one, even like
Yeah.
not like old school, but like kind of old school, you know? Like I don't know. Let me look.
Like you're thinking like old Dragon Quest or old Final Fantasies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
Not
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 like not like Final Fantasy 3,
no.
but you know, 4 or not.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like where I'm thinking of in time
Hold
because
on
it
a
has to be
second.
simple
Let's
enough
see.
graphically, you know.
Laura?
Is this meant to be his sister?
No, she's not related to him at all.
How do you know my name?
Eddie told me.
He's just in a town by himself. He's looking
Fat
for his wife.
blabbermouth.
Oh, I'm thinking of Homecoming, where he's looking for the sister.
Why do
Looking
you
for his
keep running
brother.
away from me? And how do you
Whatever.
know about Mary?
I just do. What's the big deal?
Why can't you just tell me?
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No. I won't. Please, just... I need to know.
Mary's my friend. We met at the hospital last year.
Stop lying! Laura, I'm sorry.
Fine, don't believe me. See if I care.
Hey!
Let go.
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
Look, just... stay with me, okay? This is no place for a kid.
Fine.
What he means is I'm terrified.
But-
Please don't leave me.
There's something I gotta get.
Laura,
It's important.
what is it?
A letter. For Mary.
What?
I hid it. In there.
Man, that music is so good. They did such a good job.
Yeah, they killed it.
Although that she somehow was able to go there and hide it and not like get destroyed by whatever's in there.
Yeah.
You sure this is where you left it?
Again, I think that's kind of
It's in
like
the
old
back.
game logic of.
Behind
Well,
your
no,
right.
there's a they do have
Okay,
this
we're
story
right
really
here.
fleshed out. There's a
I mean like mechanically, like
Laura?
there was one point where like you had to like find the old
Should I?
jukebox like
I'm a liar,
CD
right?
thing or
Want me to open it? Huh? Do
and
ya?
it's, like in a random
Open this
hotel
door
or like a
right
hotel
now.
like bathroom wall.
It's the magic
Why?
word. Nope, that's not it. I guess I won't open it.
Get me out of here, you brat!
In your dreams, fart face.
dude, he's done for.
Please open the door. There's something in here.
Sure there is. A big lying fart face. See a fart face?
Laura!
Does she just not see what's going on?
No, there's story to it. I mean, I can tell you if you want it.
No.
Dude, this one is unfortunately more than what I remember. So, like, I don't remember one story, I don't remember three story. But I do remember, this one story. I don't remember every sequence in it, but I do remember the story. Like, I remember the big twist in the game, which is really good. And
Yeah, I just rewatched like not recently. It was last year. But I did rewatch the old Silent Hill movie, and
I don't
you
think
know
the
what,
movies are bad. I don't think they're bad
It's
at
really
all.
not. It's pretty creepy, honestly. Like
Yeah,
the
they're pretty
music-
on
music
par
is-
with the games, in my opinion.
I think people hate them because they mock the games and the story's like its own thing.
I definitely think they're better than the Resident Evil adaptations, dude.
I don't even talk about those.
Yeah, those are
Especially
awesome.
the new one, the new literally just the name.
Yeah, I heard mixed things about that one.
It's another like situation where they just got the IP name to like
Yeah.
give it recognition, like just for the boast that oh it was Resident Evil, but also my nephew wanted to write a story and direct it.
Yeah. I need to shoot his legs.
I've probably got to shoot him with like angle towards you.
That's what I was trying to do. That's like a really narrow angle. Oh, I didn't want that. Is this bulletproof over here? So, wall maybe I can break through. Maybe I'm gonna hit this wall.
Oh yeah, make him smash the window out.
I got a shotgun, but I don't want to waste the ammo if I'm not hitting him in the right spot, you know?
Try shooting his.
So I'm gonna... Ooh, that one hurt. Bitch.
Yeah, you definitely shoot him down here, man. Okay. That's maybe what you're supposed to do.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Oh. Okay, I guess you just shoot him in the cage. Normal. We were being a little too quick.
Yeah, I see you're going a little over right
I'm guessing the bullets like damage.
now. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. So once his little arm came out.
It's literally arm. It's so simple, but like you're like, I'm sure there's something clever, but no, it's just literally like bullet armor.
Drop down for me. His name is Abstract Daddy. Don't know why he's got a daddy in his name, but
Can you imagine having to like work on a model like that?
yeah. The artist who created him, he's like he loves the what Remake's done with all of his creations, and he's such a wholesome guy. It's crazy.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's like, man, you guys did a really great job. It's really cool seeing all my creations come to life, and it makes me wish that we had the technology we have now, like for the game back when I was, you know, younger. I'm like, oh.
I could definitely be a nice thing, like, they had to do what they had. They have a vision
Yeah.
show what they want. They were trying to show us something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Pyramid Level wasn't like the design choice. It's like we don't have enough polygons. We gotta go to the single triangle. It would have been awesome if they never lines.
Yeah. Which, you know, it was kind of crazy because Masahiro Ito is like the lead Silent Hill guy, and he was just an artist for the longest time, and he's credited with creating like all the creations for Silent Hill, in terms of like concept wise, you know, and it's kind of incredible, like, because you know you see like most of the time game creators come from like the programming side of things, but he came from the art department. He came from oh no.
No, I think that's actually a lot of reasons thing. Like, I mean, I think this one is main artists. They're all
Fuck. Heal, man, heal, fuck! Oh, fuck! Oh, I thought I could get away!
Like lacking from the.
Yeah, I know, and from the darkness, yeah. Damn it.
Seems like a good time for a shotgun.
Yeah. I'm out of ammo almost. Oh, fuck you! I have one more syringe, I didn't know that. Yeah! Oh yeah! Oh fuck! Oh no! 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 Please! Please! I was kidding, bro. I never thought I could beat you. Oh fuck! Did you get him? Oh, I did. Holy shit! Scary.
At this phase.
Very beautiful lips. Damn, he really depleted all my resources. I had 80 bullets going into that. I thought I was good. Oh, that one's flesh slip. That's not abstract, Daddy. Okay. Whoopsie, I was incorrect.
James.
Also interesting because that's this little like Otherworld concept is something that comes in some of these games and then isn't in some of the others.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the coolest parts about Silent Hill.
Yeah, it's the
like,
Otherworld.
alternate world, like basically
That's
hell.
on top of the Otherworld. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's such a creepy idea.
Yeah.
And I love how this kind of seems to like phase randomly, like in and out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like obviously it's planned, but like from the story perspective, it's just like always the worst times. You know,
Yeah,
it's, like,
right.
when it couldn't get worse, it suddenly does.
Did
get
you watch
worse,
the
know?
second Silent Hill movie? Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
That one's
watching
about a
it.
little girl. There's a little girl that they're going into the town to find or some
That
shit.
sounds, I think I did. It might have been a while. I know I rewatched the first one recently. I'm not sure about the second one.
They're both good. They're both pretty solid. The first one has
Watching you-
Pyramid Head in it. I don't think the second.
I think one of the best things that these kind of games did to make them like not scary but like tense is on the boss fights having no health bar, like
Yeah.
never knowing
Yeah,
how
yeah.
close you actually are. Like
Same with
it adds,
Resident
like,
Evil. You're like,
yeah,
am I
you just-
doing damage or not?
yeah, like is this right? Like am I close? Like can I like is it kind of ease up yet? You know, like I think
Right.
not knowing makes those like that fight wasn't exactly complicated, but it was just tense.
Yeah, it's
because
like,
you were
am I doing
yeah,
anything?
Yeah, like your resources were getting low. You weren't sure if you were even like halfway. Like
But you know what's hard about that in game design wise though is like, if you die in an experience like that, how do you know how to tell, like communicate with the player that they are doing something?
And I think that fight was clever because like you had the cage get destructed,
Right.
like destruction over time, and then eventually he like changed phases. Like you can still tell the player
Right.
that progress is happening without a health bar, you know, being so like direct.
Right now. Yeah. That's first floor, so I'm gonna go up a second. I guess I'm gonna just trial and error.
Yeah, so the lore for the game. Sorry, I don't say this like usually. So my initial idea was like having magic. And I still am gonna have magic, but like the whole thing was humans don't have magic from Earth. So that was like the backstories that are there, just studying them. And like again, like I think the majority of the game should be like not even knowing that humans are there.
Yeah, just to like the,
But
probably the
on
end.
like the magic side of things, like because I think 99% of the focus will be on like the actual fantasy stuff. I think I had a pretty cool idea for the magic was I don't remember exactly how this book worked. It's called Graceling. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
It came out like around the time of Hunting, Twilight stuff. It was very like teenage fantasy drama, But me and Julio were a couple actually. They were pretty good. Anyway, Graceling, I don't remember exactly how it worked, but like you had powers, and it was like always different for the person. It's like some people were like good at sword, good at magic, whatever. So I kind of had the idea of maybe doing that, where like whenever when someone like turns like a certain age, which in the lore is they call it awakening because like it's anima and like your anima is like your soul basically. People like awaken like at a random age, anywhere from like 10 to 20 or something. So you can like get a day or whatever. But when you awaken, that's when you're like magic is like you learn like what you have magic. And like 99% of the time you like are gonna be able to like control wind, fire, whatever, like basic and magic stuff. But it's always different. Like it like comes different for each person that has it.
Yeah.
And then I thought a cool idea would be having like rare people who have like one-off powers, like uniquely like their powers. So one guy creating in my head, and then I deleted all the text by accident.
What?
But, I was like typing on Discord and I hit the delete key instead of the end key. It deleted like a huge wall of text I had typed out for his story. But his like awakening was like really young. He like was the youngest ever to be awakening. He like I had it for like 7,
Yeah.
when normally it's like 12 or 13. And he had a really special power, which was not being able to manipulate like fire, but actually manipulating people's like thoughts. He could like control people's thoughts, right? And that's how he was able to become like the first like king of that land, whatever. He like united everyone.
Seems a little sketchy.
Yeah, it would be like in the lore, he would be seen as like a hero. He united the lands, but underneath it all, he was actually using his power to manipulate everyone.
Convince
right?
them to make him king, basically.
And again, like this is someone he's dead. Like he's just a historical figure.
Yeah.
But having that kind of lore, we could have it like somewhere in a book or something. But like having that kind of stuff to build off of is how you build a proper world, to explore.
Oh.
So I think stuff like that would be cool to theory craft. Just like unique people in history who had unique powers that made them stand out. I thought about one, and I thought also it'd be kind of fun to. And one point I included like some people have like really minor things. Like one of them was just like literally her eyes change colors, like a unique eye color, something so simple as that, but it still counts.
Oh yeah, so that would be considered a power.
But, yeah, like it's not even like it's just again like you awaken and your anima, like your soul thing, is kind of like is exposed, and it can be something as simple as eye color, or it could be something as crazy as being able to bend light. Like
So it's not. So it's not always elemental.
It's not like there's like white magic, black magic, red magic. There's
just something that's super like
something unique about them, something that is uniquely different when they awaken. So maybe someone like I also had it like not just like but they would like maybe be uniquely graded. Trade skill, and maybe they're using gifts in black skill, right? That is their power, to craft goods better than others.
right.
And that could work into like the RPG sense of like having blacksmiths who are like awakened blacksmiths who are able to craft better tools than anyone else in the world, so they are like renowned blacksmiths for that.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty cool mechanic to work off of. Like not just lore wise, but I think mechanically you can do some really cool stuff for that idea. And then I think the main character, I don't know what I'm thinking fully yet, but my like early player. I know you're dying. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I can hear you.
I think what I want to do for the player is he's gonna like find like a room, and it's gonna be like, you know, crazy looking. It's gonna be
We're gonna do like
an old abandoned like laboratory from home or something. But for them, they'll interpret it as like, you know, an abandoned ancient ruin. And so his like story is gonna be he's like becoming an adult and he still has unawakened, which is super rare. Like most people should have their like power by like the time they turn like a teenager, and for some reason he just hasn't awakened. Right? That's like his story. And what I think I'm doing is I want his power to be able to like channel magic into human tech, like be able to like manipulate.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Like he finds an artifact.
Yeah.
Maybe
That he
something
finds,
that's
like,
not.
like a weapons facility, like
Yeah.
a weapon R&D or something, and he picks it up and he realizes that he's been awakened. It's just that he's not had anything to use, and like he's able to like channel energy directly into like weapons made of. I'm not sure how to do this yet, but somehow it requires like it could be like electricity or something, like it's something innate to the human weaponry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the weapons will be, how they are different than theirs. Maybe it's the metal they're made out of, but somehow he's able to manipulate that only. So he needs that weapon or tool or whatever to be able to channel his power. I think that could be a cool spin. And maybe it could even be like he's able to like manipulate weapons differently depending on which weapon he has. Like maybe like the weapon changes depending on what weapon he uses. So like that way you could have him be like an archer or swordsman or mage or whatever. But like maybe it changes based on the weapon. Maybe he like needs. I think that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Having him have like a super unique one-off power.
Yeah.
So somehow him bridging the gap between humans and the humans.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or you know, I was like, it'd be cool if he was like able to wield some of the things, maybe like some of the tech.
Yeah,
But like,
will, like
like
so
I mean, like being able to like actually use it for its intended purpose, you know.
You're right. So in my head, like again, the human stuff will be completely unknown.
And then if you want to go like down a route that's like, oh, he's the chosen one, you can make him like maybe a person who was put into that society as like an experiment, you know.
I think the way I came around this weapon thing was, you know, the humans were there researching the magic, and the whole point was, you know, they have a whole space war thing. It sounds silly when you say it, but you know, they have a war with some other species, whatever, maybe amongst themselves. But they came there, they're doing research, and they're trying to create weapons that harness the magic. And they, you know, I guess in the war, maybe they get called away because the war becomes so severe that they can't stick around any longer. Like it's a failed experiment. But none of these weapons ever worked because no one was able to ever channel magic into the weapon. And so they need like a power source. Like that would be a power source. And these weapons would be insane.
Fuck.
It's like tech. It's like magic tech. I don't think that's real. Like the
Stuff, the two worst enemies that I've fought so far. Anyway, continue, almost.
But yeah, I think the weapons that they're developing never worked for them because they didn't have anyone who could like power them properly, and he can maybe.
Yep.
And so like he's gonna be able to use like human, like, so space humans. I'm trying to think of a name for Earth humans.
Space noids.
I was gonna go like, because like Soul is like our sun, so something to do with Soul, like SOL.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's not bad.
yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah, like a play on words, kind of like it's.
Yeah, something to do with our star or Earth maybe. I was gonna go Spanish, but that's like mundo, and that's like the worst word ever. So the dumbest thing.
Wait, what is it in Spanish? Actually, don't know.
Like Earth is mundo,
Oh, yeah, menudo.
It's like
The
super
food.
lame. It's like super lame sounding. So like the soul sounds really cool. So and the star makes more sense because if you're like so, but like, and I think like most other sci-fi, you know, everyone's human. It's fine. All species are human. It's like you know, they were all seeded by the same ancient race forever. That's why both planets are like they're humans because everything is human. Because that's how it has to work. I'm not designing an entire race. They're Earth humans. But yeah, I really think the unique abilities for everyone, plus on top of his being like a very unique one, that ties him to not just his planet but also not just like lore, but also like mechanically.
Yeah.
We could do some like really cool things where like I don't know how like because I don't want to be able to like use every type of like magic, but maybe he's able to like.
Well, he could be like, what is it, the red mage that can use every type of magic, but it's like weak versions of them? That'd be cool, like a cool little
I was
mechanic.
thinking maybe having his party members, if he look at JRPG, maybe having him like use party synergies and like him powering the weapon and then letting his party members charge the weapon like with their unique ability to like make them work differently. So like maybe someone in your party can control lightning, so he can like combo his weapon with their magic to like do something kind of like synergy.
Be
You know,
kind
like,
of
I don't know.
interesting. Or maybe the weapon can change element types based
Well, that's
on
what I mean.
whatever
Like,
his
yeah,
synergy is.
he
Like
powers it,
he
and then,
has like a base level. For example, in Genshin, your character's like an air character or whatever, but you start getting more elements later on, something like that. But just based on the synergy of your party, so it's like you have your base damage that just does raw damage, but then say you have like an enemy that you know, you have two allies, one's ice, one's fire. Your enemy is like weak to fire. You can absorb you can use the same attack, but you can borrow some energy from like your
That's
party
exactly
member.
what I was thinking. Where like
I think that's a cool idea.
you can use your other party members' special trait about them to make your kind of like catch-all weapon be specific. You know, like I don't know. It's kind of vague sounding right now, but I think that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think it's a cool mechanic. I think it'd be simple enough, like mechanically, to build overall. I think the hardest thing would just be coming up with all these cool synergies and like you know unique characters with unique powers. And the whole human thing, I like. I mean, I'm definitely like the sci-fi side. I mean, it's gonna be interstellar inspired, so gravity is obviously like the key for space travel. Like being able to manipulate gravity directly, so that way you like eliminate so many issues. Like you know, getting off a planet. The hardest thing is getting off, right? The
Oh
resources.
yeah, it is, buddy.
Yeah, so if you can like you know use gravity to just lift your craft out of you know into space with no like fire, it's way better. You know, it's way cheaper. So gravity is going to play a big part of things. Like, that would be a type of magic. It's also content like gravity is a magic type. So you could have like people be able to like. I mean, it's not like Avatar, but like you know, it's like the elemental magics. Then we have like those unique ones like I said, gravity. I
Mind
think
control
light
kind
would
of
be,
stuff.
like light would be cool. I think the mind control one, I want to kind of make it like unnecessary.
Oh no, I thought you were just talking about like in-world magic, not stuff for the players to wield.
Well, yeah. Well, this is like so again, like everyone presents unique magic, right? Like unique powers.
Yeah. I would love for us to have a part. First of all, I think a must is having interchangeable party members, because one thing I hate that Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy took away was having that. Because as much as I love the guys in 15, I just wish you could change them around.
I agree. I think having the option to like
pick the characters you like based on cosmetics and synergy.
Like
yeah.
the game in this is so like cosmetic, sure. Like I do like.
You know, you just have some characters
There's
that you always
always
resonate with more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
But then
absolutely
also
agree.
they'll have abilities you like too, and it's like icing on the
Sometimes,
cake.
sometimes when you don't like them, but their abilities are good,
You're like, damn, and you start liking them
cool.
because you
You
have
keep
to.
them around, and then
Yeah.
suddenly, oh, these guys are actually pretty cool when you get to know
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah, it encourages that, and then like I think Mass Effect does the best job of that.
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
100%. Yeah. When you're
like I
like,
think
oh, I'm
any
going to
good
a
one that
Krogan
have.
planet, so now I need to use Rex because I was against using Rex at the beginning, but then he's like your favorite character
I
at
was
the
gonna
end.
say, yeah, when you fall in love with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so I think that would be a good thing. I think, like again, like traditional JRPG, like Final
Oh,
Fantasy
oh,
style.
but one character I want is sorry, it's just before I forget this
Yeah.
because I'm like really. We need to have one character who has no powers except the ability to change her eyes, so she's just strong in combat and that's it.
She's like a. I mean, like that was like a thought, but
No, that's
like
great. I think it's hilarious.
I think that's good for the world building. Right? Not everyone is
It's like all
powerful.
powerful. Now, do you
Yeah.
think is this like an all loving civilization, or are they gonna have like
No, I
power
think there's
structures
gonna be a
based
lot of
on,
people.
yeah,
So
like power structure based on like what abilities you have, probably? Maybe like classifications.
yeah, I think to a point, kind of almost like 16 where like lots of people aren't, but
Yeah.
I think everyone will have. I think everyone awakens, right?
Yeah.
And this is just we can change the name. I think it I think everyone does though from that planet. That's what makes that planet special. Everyone has something
Yeah.
unique about them.
There's no Encanto, whatever that girl's name is. Mirabelle. There's no Mirabelle from Encanto. Who can't?
Okay.
You don't ever watch that? I
I
figured.
don't know what you're talking about.
I figured. Cynthia not a Disney girl?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We have not
Yeah.
watched that one yet, actually.
I haven't watched Encanto. She calls herself. I mean, it's not Mexican. It's they're like Colombian, but still, it's
Yeah.
Hispanic.
We're more of a. Oh my God, the Day of the Dead. What was that
Oh,
one called?
Coco? Yeah, that one's good. That one's sad as fuck, dude.
Dude, that ending with the
Yeah,
grandmother and the
yeah.
song.
When they start singing, yeah, I'm balling.
Yeah, that's tears, my dude.
Yeah, for real. Remember me.
Yeah, I learned that from that song.
My only complaint about that song, though, they didn't have enough songs in Spanish. Motherfucker. Hate this game.
Yeah, I think the Spanish version is, or like the Spanish soundtrack is amazing. But yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, I think everyone in that world awakens something. But like I said, some of them are really mundane, like eye color, or maybe their hair changes color, or maybe they can like willingly change their color of the hair or something, right? Like maybe some people can even like maybe that's like a really weak form of it, but then some people can like shape shift. Like the weak form is literally just changing your eye color, but then that can go as far as changing your entire appearance at will. That could be like a really cool assassin class, right? Like
Yeah.
there's so many things you could do with it, right? But I do think there should be like limits too, right? Like there should be like defined, like not classes, but like defined types of magic, right? So like again, you have like elements, you have like gravity, you have light, and I don't know what shapeshifting would be. Maybe the shapeshifter, like that could be a whole like line.
From what is it, like alteration magic?
Yeah, like I mean, like we just have like I think having like general definitions for like each type of magic would be a good thing to do to kind of give us like a bit of order. But then again, like then you have those oddities who just, like don't fit, and that's the people who like change history, right? That's the ones who make everything different. So the king dude, her name is his one-off. No one else has ever had this. In the lore, no one even knew about it. Because he could control your body. He
Damn it! Just too fast!
And so he could control people's thoughts, which is obviously OP.
Right.
And that's one of those OP powers I don't want to have in the game.
Right, you're going to be a character
Right.
like almost like
Having
it's
it, like,
rumored.
part of history.
Yeah.
Part of a history. Then you can have it, and you don't have to like worry about like designing it. Like at least like mechanically. I also thought about like a cool one would be like I want like dragons and it's fantasy, right? I thought a cool one would be like maybe like the ability to like not like control dragons, but like maybe like dragon kin, like maybe they can like speak with stuff, like goblins or dragons or something. So maybe there's like dragon riders who are like they're born with the ability to communicate with creatures or something. That could be a cool thing to do. I don't know. There's literally so many options, so many like options you can do with these kind of this idea. But again, I think the big thing is most people are mundane. People are, like, maybe they're able to like light a torch, like fingertip magic. Yeah, most people can do no more than like maybe light a candle with their finger, or power up like a small light or something. But then those rare people are like able to like summon fire or something, and, like fire. I guess it'd be earth magic too, think about it. But yeah, I think it's a cool base for like a game mechanic. Then have our character do the whole somehow he needs to be able to link the two cultures together.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you think it's gonna end on a uniting note, or do you think that's just gonna be his initial goal?
I don't think it's gonna be like unification, but I think he will bridge that gap of.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I thought you were.
Not like in.
I thought you were saying that
like
would be his
politically.
objective.
No, but like he will bridge the gap of tech and magic. So he'll be magic tech, which is like that's.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Coming full circle now.
I think it's a cool idea though, having him be able to like power up the levels of like maybe like even like maybe it's not just weapons. Maybe it's like all weapons. Maybe he can just like no, it needs to be something to do with humans. And I think again the idea of humans being there and creating a weapon lab and then like abandoning it because it never worked. And then him being the missing key is a cool idea. I do think that's a pretty cool idea. And my the other side of things I was thinking about with this was the reason they leave is most likely to be like maybe they give up too much money or it could be that there was like a war that they're involved in, and it becomes so critical that they have to just leave. They just abandon everything. And I was like, okay, do they leave anything behind to like? Do we have no one left behind? Is it completely abandoned? Do they leave one person or something? And I thought a cool thing that you could do, which would be a really cool way to like really integrate the human stuff, would be they leave behind like what I was calling observers, and observers are literally like I don't want to say AI, but they're NPCs, right? They're robots, right? That are like that are meant to interact with the like in the just to capture information.
Oh my god!
Dang, dude.
It's like sometimes they only take like I count hits when I play games like this because it's like
Yeah, it's definitely random.
But like it's like sometimes she takes like 6 hits and then sometimes she takes fucking 9. Hold on one second, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. Cry myself to sleep in the restroom.